I hope you are doing good out here, and I hope you are enjoying the event at this place. So, so Petrov, would like to understand. In fact, you had been to India quite a long, and you had been visiting this, different parts of the country. And, so, would like to understand what World Bank, in fact, is today doing as far as the e-governance part is concerned.
Right. Thank you. I'm here to attend this eINDIA forum, which is being organized for a number of years. I attended previous events as well, and I find this to be quite a useful platform for knowledge exchange, and I visit to get up to speed on latest achievements in India on the governance side. And so I can share it with other countries. I work with many countries, and India is always reaching best practices and lessons learned using ICT for better governance. And I'm always keen to learn what's new and what's next. So this is a great opportunity to meet with Indian officials, with other experts, and I'm happy to be here. As far as the World Bank is concerned, we have quite a large portfolio of activities in the governance space, both financing various projects on the governance, sectoral projects like health, education, environment, as well as more integrated government projects. So we're doing a number of those. Also, we provide technical assistance and capacity building support on governance and different aspects of governance, including, for example, open data, which is a new trend in the governance space, which I'm personally focusing on recently. So we have a large portfolio of investment in IT. Last estimate was about $7 billion of total investment in IT public sector. And we have I think, a growing demand in various sectors. I think transport is a big sector. There's a large aspects of health, education, financial management. So it's a multi-sectoral portfolio of IT investments, and I think the bank is very happy to support countries like India in the governance space.
Now, if I talk about it's a very important aspect that you talk about is the different investments catering into different sectors and all. Now, if I want to compare India with the rest of the developing countries across, where do you rate India as a state as far as the e-governance is concerned, and what do you think what are the different areas of improvements that have been required as per your point of view?
Thank you. India, it's very hard to rank a country on e-governance progress. So there are some international rankings by UN, by Accenture, Capgemini, University of Waseda, Japan. There are various rankings of the government progress, different methodologies, different weaknesses and strengths. So India is doing better in some than others. So I won't recollect exact ranks in those indexes of India. I think India is doing well overall in the developing world. So it's one of the leading countries in the developing world on e-governance. I think there are some areas where India is really ahead of the game. There's a lot of best practices in India, as I said before. The citizen service centers, common service centers is one area of leadership. The PPPs for the government, use of public-private partnership. I think India is ahead of the game. There's some very innovative private sector investments in the government space, where India is probably ahead of the game worldwide. There are not so many countries which are as successful in PPPs in the government as India has been. I think there are a lot of examples at the state level, a lot of success stories. We are in Kerala, which is one of the biggest states in the governance in India. We have other states like Maharashtra, you have Andhra Pradesh. There's a long history of success stories in governance. I would not name specific States because there's so many, successful ones. I think the central government, the NGP initiative, succeeded in achieving key objectives, developing a shared infrastructure. Now the government cloud is being, developed, as I hear. The Open Data Initiative has been launched and successfully been implemented for the last 2 years. I think the mobile gateway and the mobile government in general has been quite successful. This M7 project, which was awarded by UN DESA in recent awards competition early this year. So I think there are a lot of best practices. It's hard to name all of them. The Aadhaar project, the unique ID, is world famous. We're always keen to hear what's latest on this project because it's a very transformational program which has millions of people benefiting and huge potential for PPPs and private sector use of this infrastructure. So I think the story of success stories in this is very long. In terms of the areas for improvement, I think any of the success stories has two sides of the coin. For example, open data. While there's been a lot of progress on the supply side, getting the data opened, I think there's more which can be done on the supply side. For example, opening the most relevant, commercially valuable data quality. I think there's always a way to improve the quality of data. But the demand side of open data is, I think, the biggest gap. I think there's a lot more needs to be done to engage the business community, the developer community, the civil society, journalists, to really make the most of this government data, open government data. So I think that's one area of where some more help may be needed. And the World Bank is extremely excited about the opportunity to collaborate with India on open data. We have a global partnership for open data, which mobilized international experts from all over the world, and many organizations active in that space are available to collaborate with India in this area of open data. There are some other areas where we could collaborate, like big data. It's an emerging field of development. And generally, I think this the notion of digital government, smart government of the future, and working on designing the next generation model of government is a very exciting agenda, which I think this new Digital India program will probably need a lot of visioning and reflection of what are the next practices, and I think World Bank would be very interested to be part of this visioning process, because we hope that Indian model of Digital India will have a huge impact and influence on other developing countries, because every country is now thinking of smart nation, digital nation programs, and India, being one of the largest developing countries, can show the way to many other countries. So we're very keen to be part of this process, so we can both contribute, best ideas from outside India, as well as get the best ideas from here, which we can share with other countries. I personally believe in knowledge sharing. I think this is the extremely important part of development. I welcome, your efforts in sharing knowledge within India and from outside. I think it's the best way to help countries, governments avoid mistakes which others made, share lessons learned, share best practices so others can develop faster. So I think this is an exciting journey, and World Bank is very happy to be part of it.
Now, the new government in the center, they are coming with the different initiatives, especially the one which is called as the Financial Inclusion Initiative, which we call as the Jan Dhan Yojana. I hope you are aware of the same. Now, Financial Inclusion Initiative has been a very, very important initiative by the government, where we are actually trying to open the banks accounts of even poorest of the poor, and we're trying to make the things possible for them, to the people at ground. How World Bank looks at this particular project, as far as the financial inclusion process?
course, financial inclusion is a very distinct area of development. We have a large team working on that at the World Bank. Probably wouldn't be the best person to answer that. I think in terms of the ICT side of it, of course we have examples of mobile payments, mobile money. There's a successful model in Kenya, with M-Pesa, which is world famous for financial inclusion of the poorest mobile phones. I personally think it's an extremely important area, and India could gain a lot by catalyzing mobile payments and probably some of the best practices in Africa. But again, this is not my area, so I would prefer not to give you.
I understand that very well. Now you had been here since 2 days attending this event, eINDIA. How are your views with respect to our initiative, eINDIA event, and would like to have feedback from your side and suggestions which can improve our initiatives better.
Okay, I think you had a very rich set of experts here, a lot of good case studies were presented, for example. I feel the audience was interested in the subject matter. I think if you'd like to improve, I think you could have more time for discussion, question and answers. I always think that it should be interactive format, so maybe that could be one way to improve this. But I think overall, the conference has been useful in sharing the latest achievements of key states and some central government officials and some private sector solutions. And this was quite interesting.
Now, if I talk about the ratings part of it, so where do you rate our event with respect to whatever the objectives when you came over here? You had a set of objectives, in your mind when you came to attend this event. So if I want to rate, as per the experiences that you had, where do you rate our event? Out of 5, where do you put it?
Out of 5? I think this is not for interviews. I can give you, my private feedback, but so let me abstain. It's a good event. You have a lot of interesting stuff.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and I hope you will enjoy the event and you continue to come and attend our events in the future.
Thank you. You're asking very, very easy questions. Okay.